How's it going, guys and girls? Hope you guys are having a great week. So I'm back today with another Mass Effect Andromeda video. This one is going to be the next Andromeda Initiative briefing video that we get. This is the fourth one that we've seen now. So I'm going to watch this through, give you my reaction to it, and then obviously we'll pause it, we'll break it down, and we'll see what we actually learn from it. So much Mass Effect Andromeda today, guys. This is a very nice Thursday after a crazy, busy and decidedly stressful week. So let's watch this, and I'm so excited right now. Let's go. There we go. All right. Okay, so this is Saturn. That's so cool.
Nobody knows for certain what awaits us in Andromeda. Though our long-range scans have provided a map, there are no guarantees on a voyage that will take us 2.5 million light years away from home.
Dude, that's amazing. That travel.
That's where the Pathfinder team comes in. My name is Cora Harper, second in command on the human Pathfinder team.
Okay.
It's our job to find and secure potential golden worlds, identify settlement sites, and start the process of building our new home.
So
we
excited.
act under our own authority.
Oh, wow.
And represent the tip of the spear in Andromeda. Every arc has its own team, and every team has its own Pathfinder. Senior mission officers, experts in survival, diplomacy, and if that fails, combat. Our Pathfinder on Arc Hyperion is Alec Kreider, whose pioneering service history speaks for itself. A skilled soldier with N7 ranking and a talented scientist, Kreider was a member of the original task force who traveled through the Charon mass relay and took humanity's first steps across the galaxy. Now, he's preparing us to tackle the next great frontier, Andromeda. Liam specializes in crisis response.
Cool.
Every team needs its idealist, and Liam is ours. Sarah and Scott Ryder are Pathfinder's son and daughter, and former Alliance recruits fresh off tours with the Arcturus Station Outpost and Prothean Artifacts team, respectively.
Ah, interesting.
And myself, Lieutenant Cora Harper. To be brief, I'm a biotic, the team's operations specialist in charge of ground missions, and I spent the last 4 years serving alongside Asari commandos.
Nice.
And finally, our last team member, Sam. Short for Simulated Adaptive Matrix, Sam is an artificial intelligence designed by our Pathfinder himself. From his node in the Ark, Sam receives a direct feed of the Pathfinder's sensory input via a neural implant. It sees and feels as Ryder does, providing him advanced situational awareness, problem solving, and even tactical enhancements.
Wow.
All members of the Pathfinder team receive implants, allowing them to communicate directly with Sam. The individuals who make up this team are everything the Andromeda Initiative represents. A chance for the bravest and the brightest to come together for something bigger than ourselves. If you have what it takes to join us, we'll make sure there's a bunk on the Tempest with your name on it.
Yes, please. That's awesome. Oh my god, that is so freaking cool. Right, so that's really interesting. So we're actually only finding out there about the human companions. Now that's interesting because that seems to indicate that like Drac and Vetra and PB are not with you when you set off. So perhaps you actually meet them during the course of the game and recruit them. Kind of similar to Mass Effect 1, where we met like Rex and Garrus and Liara and Tali. Actually, as we sort of progress the game and progress the story, maybe that is the case here. And we obviously get to see Daddy Ryder, Alec Kreider. Now, obviously, something happens to him early on. It must do, because Scott and Sarah Ryder are obviously then the main protagonist. But let's actually watch back through, and I'm just going to pause on each character and actually have a look at the text information that we have about them and see if we can discover anything extra that video didn't show us. So let's have a look. So this is right at the beginning here. This is clearly Saturn.
Nobody knows
As we can see here, there are multiple arcs. So this must be when we're first leaving. I wonder if we get to sort of see this and play this like right at the beginning of the game. I think that would be so cool.
It's for certain what awaits us in Andromeda. Though our long-range scans have provided a map, there are no guarantees on a voyage that will take us 2.5 million light years away from
This
home.
is the Nexus. Now that travel right there is so interesting. Like that's kind of like a hyperdrive. Like what we're used to seeing in like Star Trek and Star Wars. So it's very different to obviously, you know, the Mass Effect trilogy, where you had to use the mass relays to jump between points. Here we clearly have a hyperdrive. It's very cool. I love the sounds and
That's where the Pathfinder team comes in. My name is Cora Harper.
Okay, so Cora Harper, we already do Cora, but surname is Harper and she's your second in command. So maybe a little bit like Ashley was, like LT, like Lieutenant Commander, maybe like Ashley for the Mass Effect games.
Second in command on the human Pathfinder team. It's our job to find and secure potential golden worlds.
Okay, so obviously this must be Andromeda and all the different sort of habitat worlds. Is this like a black hole in the center? That's so cool. It's just amazing.
Identify settlement sites and start the process of building our new home.
See here.
We act under our own authority.
So the habitats are called golden worlds because obviously they're the best, most hospitable worlds maybe for the human race to settle.
Represent the tip of the spear in Andromeda.
So interesting. Yeah, that looks like a black hole to me. That looks like a black hole.
And every team has its own Pathfinder. Cool. Senior mission officers, experts.
Now that's interesting because I wonder if during the game, if we're only going to focus on the human arc and the human like quest to find a world, or whether we're actually going to come across other arcs. Like how far apart are these arcs, like in terms of exploring the Andromeda galaxy? I think what would be a really interesting DLC concept as well is perhaps in the DLC if maybe you got to take over those other arcs, or maybe in the subsequent Andromeda games, each game, maybe they're like, it would be so great if there were like 4 games and each game focused on a different arc maybe, and then they all sort of come together. Who knows? That would be so cool. Obviously I'm just speculating, but I would really love to be able to find the other Pathfinders and in the other species. I think that would be so cool, especially because they're all connected on the main arc. I would think at some point they're going to have some form of communication going on.
Experts in survival, diplomacy, and if that fails, combat.
Right, okay.
Our Pathfinder on Arc Hyperion is Alec Kreider.
Okay, so this is Alec Kreider. This is Daddy Ryder. Now, as she says there, this guy is like old school and very, very famous. So as we can see here from the text, I'm just going to read this. So born on Earth in 2129, Alec Kreider says his love of new frontiers was fostered by a childhood in the Sierra. I can't read that. According to his service record, he joined the Alliance military and was eventually assigned to John Grissom's historic expedition through the Sharon Relay. So this is the first time that the humans went through the Sharon Relay, and then ultimately they meet the Turians, and that's how we get the sort of the first contact wars going on. But this is pioneer. This guy is a pioneer, and he is so like renowned. Like just John Grissom is very famous in Mass Effect lore. So this guy has seen a lot, and I can't think of a better person to be a Pathfinder, basically. His experience made him a candidate for what would later be known as N7 training back on Earth. Alec continued military service, most notably on... Shanxi? Is that Shanxi? In the first contact war against the Turians. So this guy was on Shanxi, which was attacked by the Turians. And there were heavy casualties, and that's amazing. So we might actually get to find out a little bit more about the first contact wars through Alec Kreider. Like, I really hope he doesn't die at the start of the game, because I would love to talk to him and to be able to actually get like a first-hand account of the situation, of the events, rather than like what that was like, rather than just sort of reading it in the codex. I think it would be so cool to talk to him. So I really hope they don't kill him off right at the beginning. I really hope they don't, because I really want to talk to this guy. He sounds very interesting. Assigned as a military attaché to the Citadel in the late 2160s, Alec became interested in artificial intelligence as a means of human advancement. So that's very interesting, because the Citadel, the Council, have very strict rules against artificial intelligence, especially after what happened with the Geth. So that's very interesting.
Whose pioneering service history speaks for itself.
Yes, this guy's a legend.
A skilled soldier with N7 ranking and a talented scientist.
I wonder if he trained Shepard. That would be so cool if he trained Shepard.
Who traveled through the Charon mass relay and took humanity's first steps across the galaxy. Now, he's preparing us to tackle the next great frontier, Andromeda. Liam specializes in crisis response.
Okay, so this is Liam. So Liam Costa. Okay, that's an interesting name. Maybe he's Caribbean, maybe, or South, I don't know, from South America, maybe. So Liam Costa is a human security and crisis response specialist with civilian tactical training. Liam entered university for engineering, but left to train for law enforcement. So he's an ex-police officer. And later transitioned to the multi-species effort of heavy urban search and crisis response. Interesting. His multidisciplinary skills set him apart, and Liam was handpicked by Alec Kreider to support the Pathfinder team. Right, so this guy is very heavily respected. Maybe he's the older than Scott and Sarah, or maybe a little older.
Every team needs its idealist, and Liam is ours. Sarah and Scott Ryder are Pathfinder's son and daughter, and
see, I kind of like how Sarah looks here. She looks really cool. Scott looks awesome too. So born on the Citadel. So have they got the same? Okay, slightly different. So Scott, born on the Citadel space station. Born on the Citadel, okay, in 2163 with informal training aided by Alec Kreider's N7 background. Scott joined the Systems Alliance military and was assigned to an outpost near Arcturus Station overseeing Relay 202. Now this is the relay that I think the Reapers come through in Mass Effect 3, and Arcturus Station gets completely destroyed. So had they not left at the beginning of Mass Effect 2, Scott and Sarah will probably be dead right now. But that's interesting. A primary route to Arcturus Station. Yeah, this mass relay leads into contesting space and has an unsavory reputation. Scott uses what? Scott was to protect. Okay. Was recruited to protect Arcturus, but also had a front row seat to everyone else going off to the right to fortune and glory. So that gives you a little bit of an indication of his character. So obviously Scott is someone that wants glory, wants fortune, wants his moment of greatness, his moment in the spotlight. Obviously, Sarah, same, born on the Citadel. This is a little different though, I think. So Sarah joined the Systems Alliance military, which was continuing its research for Prothean technology after successful discoveries on Mars, initially assigned to peacekeeping duties. Sarah was approached to serve as a support role for these Prothean researchers. She often describes the thrill of serving with scientists like, I can't read that, Mateus Silva on the brink of the next great discovery. So that's very interesting. So Scott has a more military background, and it seems like a bit of an adventurer. That's obviously going to influence his personality, the way that he approaches things. Whereas Sarah seems to be a little bit more carefully thought through. Obviously, she's more interested in research and science, and obviously she's heavily interested in the Protheans. So that's really interesting. Like, both characters, both siblings are around, but are very, very, very different. So obviously who you choose to play as might be dependent on what style of character you would prefer. But I like that they're very, very different, which is really cool.
And former Alliance recruits
really
fresh
cool.
off tours with the Arcturus Station Outpost and Prothean Artifacts team, respectively. and myself, Lieutenant Cora Harper.
Okay, so this is Lieutenant Cora Harper. Now she's definitely older, I think, and we know that she's a love interest for. Definitely, we know she's a love interest for Scott for sure. So Lieutenant Cora Harper is a human biotic and formerly an officer in the Systems Alliance military. Again, she was transferred via the Citadel Council's Valkyrie program. Damn. A subset of their interspecies military integration plan. So she's effectively trained by Asari, which means she's going to be an uberly powerful biotic, because the Asari are renowned as amazing biotics, naturally. Placed with the Asari Commando Unit. Wow, that's kind of amazing. Okay, so she's actually fought within the Asari Commando Unit. That's going to make her tactics very interesting. Cora's huntress training and biotic capability make her a candidate for Alec Kreider's second in command, and if warranted, his successor as a Pathfinder. So that's really interesting, because we know that she's around, and we know that I assume Sarah and Scott Ryder, I figured they would become the Pathfinder. But if Cora is second in command, why is it that she doesn't take command of the Tempest after something clearly happens to Alec Kreider? So that's going to be interesting to see, definitely.
To be brief, I'm a biotic, the team's operations specialist in charge of ground missions, and I spent the last 4 years serving alongside Asari commandos.
Damn.
And finally, our last team member, Sam. Short for Simulated Adaptive Matrix, Sam is an artificial intelligence designed by our Pathfinder himself.
Amazing.
From his node in the Ark, Sam receives a direct feed of the Pathfinder's sensory input via a neural implant.
Wow.
It sees and feels as Ryder does, providing him advanced situational awareness, problem solving, and even tactical enhancements. All members of the Pathfinder team receive implants, allowing them to communicate directly with Sam.
That's really interesting, because Edie was obviously a fantastic artificial intelligence. She was one of my favorite characters in Mass Effect 3 and 2. But it's interesting that they're going so like integrated, so connected to artificial intelligence, whereas in the Mass Effect trilogy there was always this like level of mistrust and fear of artificial intelligence because of what happened with the Geth. So it's very interesting here that the Sam, the artificial intelligence, is actually going to be so crucially connected to them. I hope he'll have some kind of a sense of humor, a little bit like Edie did. I hope he will, and have a kind of a personality rather than just being this like computer voice who gives advice and direction that we will obviously hear during the game.
The individuals who make up this team are everything the Andromeda Initiative represents.
So cool.
A chance for the bravest and the brightest to come together for something bigger than ourselves. If you have what it takes to join us, we'll make sure there's a bunk on the Tempest with your name on it.
Damn, the sound effects are amazing, the engines and the music, and I just love it. All right, so that is the most recent Mass Effect Andromeda Initiative video. That is the 4th one, so there are 2 more still left to come before the game is released on the 21st of March. So I'm very interested to see what comes next, but really enjoyed that. I like the fact that we're getting to find out a little bit more about our characters, just enough to get us interested. But anyway, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys thought of this briefing video in the comment section below. Let me know if you spotted anything or your thoughts on things, what you would like to see, what your thoughts are on the characters. Please share that in the comment section below. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button as always to show your support. All right, guys and girls, well, take care. And as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys.